Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements, and in this video we are going to be reviewing Yes Day, which is a brand new Netflix original movie that's a bit of a family comedy film based on the novel of the same name by Amy Rosenthal. Now the concept of this film is that for one day you have to say yes to all of your kids' demands, and as you can imagine it has a lot of fun and a lot of chaos and a lot of lessons along the way. Now whilst it is a watchable movie, it just doesn't have the charm, magic and emotion that you would want and expect it to, which I'm going to be breaking down for you in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, we're first introduced to the two lead characters, Carlos and Alison Torres, who are a bit of a fun-loving couple who say yes to everything. They then get married and have kids, and then they begin saying no to everything because they feel like this is how you need to be a good parent. Speaking of which, they go to parents' evening, and one day they showed a video that their son makes which portrays Alison as a bit of a dictator. On their way out of parents' evening, they see a school employee who tells them that he's got 6 kids, and he frequently does something called a yes day, which is where you have to say yes to all kids' demands, and he just feels like this is how you have a good relationship with your kids. The Torres family then take this into consideration and decide that actually they are going to have a yes day. As you can imagine, there's a lot of chaos and a lot of fun that ensues with the kids leading the way in terms of planning out what they want for this yes day. And it really could have gone down a really imaginative, really fun, really wishful thinking route, but instead it just goes down the road of torturing their parents, and as such it just doesn't have the charm that you would hope and expect it should do. So from a cast and character point of view, they have got a decent cast in this movie, but it's really dominated by one character, and as such all of the rest of the cast and characters just feel second fiddle to this main central character. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Jennifer Garner, who plays the character of Alison Torres, the strict and zany mother, and she does actually go on a pretty decent character arc in terms of being really playful in the beginning to becoming a really strict parent, to then try to find her playful side, and has a really interesting relationship with her eldest daughter as well. I just feel like the actress was just really overbearing in this film, to the point that it was just becoming a bit overacting and was just really annoying, and was just so dominating in this film that everyone else, like I said before, just kind of falls by the wayside. As Jennifer Garner was also the producer of this film, I really do feel like she made her character being truly front and center. Next up we have Edgar Ramirez, who was most recently in The Undoing miniseries from HBO, and in this film he's playing Carlos Torres, the more easygoing and relaxed parent out of him and Alison that definitely has this relationship with the kids. But as it was Jennifer Garner's portrayal of Alison was just so overbearing, I just felt Edgar Ramirez didn't really have a chance, and he was just never able to match at the same level of performance and wasn't able to have as much of a rounded character as Jennifer Garner did. We then have Jenna Ortega, most recently from the 2nd season of You. She was also in the sequel to The Babysitter on The Killer Queen, and she's also going to be in the upcoming Scream revival movie. So she's in this film, which is really, really great, but similar to Edgar Ramirez, she definitely falls by the wayside in terms of Jennifer Garner's overbearing Alison character. But that being said, at least she does have an arc in terms of not really being the biggest fan of her mother, and then really understanding where she's coming from by the end of this movie. And also Jenna Ortega seems to be playing loads of characters who unfortunately lose their mobile phones, which is a bit of an unfortunate trend. We then have the other two kids that are just really irritating and really shouty as well. I feel like if there's a couple out there that are thinking about having kids, these two characters are really going to put anyone off having kids. And then finally we have Megan Stott, who was most recently in Little Fires Everywhere, and she plays a character called Layla, who is friends with the Jenna Ortega character. So from a cast and character point of view, whilst they had a decent cast in this movie, unfortunately, like I said, there was just one character's portrayal that was just dominating this film. So from a visuals point of view, this film does look really decent. They've got very high production values in this film. So the house that they're based in looks really, really cool. All of the locations that they go to look really, really great. And the kids have a mission of 5 things that they want their parents to do in this yes day. And all of those different missions look really, really great. Very elaborate production values have definitely gone into it. So it looks really, really impressive. And they're really, really great in terms of the diversity of all of the cast members. So you can really see this in this movie, which is really, really great. So from a visuals point of view, this film is actually really, really decent. So from a comparison point of view, whilst the family construct is really believable, you can really understand why the characters are doing what they're doing, you can really understand the dynamic between all the different characters, I just feel like the genre of family comedies, there are just so many better other titles, such as Father of the Bride, Home Alone, and the recently released Instant Family as well. So whilst Yesterday has got a really great concept, it unfortunately isn't as good as the other titles in this genre. So overall, I have to say, Yesterday is a watchable movie. I was just hoping and expecting a lot more from it, as the concept was so great and it just lended itself to producing an absolutely brilliant movie. I mean, there are some really interesting scenes that happen, there are some lessons that you can take away from it, and they do go to some really, really cool places. Even in the amusement park, and there are some scenes on roller coaster which looks really, really cool, and a bit of a hilarious fight sequence that happens at the amusement park as well. But I was just hoping, like I said before, for a little bit more from it. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.